Prime rib roasts can be quite expensive, so when selecting a prime rib roast, there are a few things to look for to ensure you are getting the best quality. Even though prime rib is considered a premium cut of meat, some roasts can be better than others. Ultimately, the higher the quality of roast you choose, the better your final roast will be. First, a whole beef rib roast consists of ribs 6 through 12. Though this whole portion is considered prime, ribs 9 through 12, which are closest to the loin, are the most prized. This cut, which is also known as the first cut, the small end, or the loin end, has the most even muscle structure. These ribs can be cut into 2 to 4 rib roasts. Here we have a 3 rib roast. The portion that is closest to the shoulder is often referred to as the second cut. This portion consists of ribs 6 through 8. Because this cut is closer to the shoulder, the meat and bones not only increase in size, but the muscle structure becomes more intertwined. As you can see, the size between the first and second cut are quite different. You can also clearly see the difference in muscle structure. The first cut is less fatty and contains the prized ribeye muscle. This even muscle structure makes the meat extremely tender. The second cut is much more twisted and intertwined. While this uneven muscle structure results in a roast that has a slightly tougher chew, it can still produce a decent roast. When buying a prime rib roast, you will generally pay the same price whether you buy the second or first cut. Any good butcher will be more than happy to sell you the first cut, but don't just assume they will give it to you if you simply ask for a prime rib roast. You need to be specific when ordering. Depending on the number of ribs you want, start with rib 12 and work backwards. For example, if you want a 3 rib roast, be sure to ask for ribs 10 through 12. Second, no matter what number of ribs you choose, the best quality will be determined by the marbling within the meat. This means the more the meat is speckled with fat, the juicier and more succulent the end result will be. The meat should also have a bright, deep red color. Third, all prime rib roasts should come with a fat cap. This fat cap is important for insulating and basting the roast as it cooks. As the roast cooks, the fat melts and makes the meat incredibly succulent. Sometimes prime rib roasts are unfortunately sold without this fat cap. Roasts without this natural insulation can result in overcooked meat, especially near the surface. For the best results, seek out a roast that contains the fat cap. Underneath the fat cap is the cap muscle, which surrounds the loin. This portion is thought by some to be the best part of the roast. The fourth thing to think about when buying a prime rib roast is whether you want it bone-in or boneless. One advantage of having the bone attached is that it protects the ribeye from quickly overcooking. That being said, roasts with the bone attached do take a bit longer to cook. However, they are easier to turn during cooking. Also, the meat near and in between the bones is very flavorful and is a delicacy for some. Finally, to estimate how much meat you will need, purchase roughly half a pound per person for boneless roasts and 3/4 to a pound per person for bone-in roasts. Keep in mind that the larger the roast, the more control and leeway you will have during cooking to obtain the desired doneness. Plus, any leftovers will make many other fantastic meals.